So I keep on looking for an excuse to come back to Seven Deadly Sins. You know, I'm looking for like a 2 to 4 week period where they just don't completely like fuck over the game and everybody playing it. But it just hasn't happened yet. And oh my god, dude, I just can't believe the game balancing situation in the last couple of months is just like so bad, because they got to a point where Purgatory Barn released, and they were like, we're just going to give him all the stats, all the numbers. Health pool is just absolutely insane. The damage is insane. He hits everybody. The ultimate wipes the entire team. He's just like broken. He's just like way too good. You had that man at 6'6", just, yeah, absolutely rolling everybody. And then Margaret comes out, and she's just essentially like, everybody has broken stats. You deal more damage, you take less damage, so you can compete with that level of broken at Purgatory Barn. It wasn't like interesting game design and development. It was just like, we've made all the numbers a lot bigger. And because of that, you know, about 90 to 95% of units just became completely irrelevant, because they might, if they got lucky, you know, be able to snipe like the one Escanor or another character. There might be some variety that you could still do some stuff with. However, like after the release of Purgatory Barn, at least for me, I found that was gone personally. And what did they decide to do? Well, you know, in relation to these super overpowered characters breaking the meta, breaking the game, breaking absolutely everything, with a patch the other week on the Japanese version, they decided to add in a Holy War artifact system, or Holy War relic system, which essentially is character buffs. So, you know, you get all these materials from this new raid, and it requires like a decent stack of them, but then you can get a UR weapon, which gives the character like a super broken ability. And just to give you a bit of a glance at some of these abilities, if you're not in the loop with Seven Deadly Sins at the moment, these abilities are like pretty much essential if you want to play any of these characters, because they got one for Purgatory Barn. I can't believe they released this system and went straight in for one for Purgatory Barn, which is when an ally hero dies, his maximum health increases by 15%. So yeah, that's crazy, man. You know, if Arthur and Easton die, for example, that's 30% more health on top of his already like ridiculous stats. And then also you got a really good one for Twigo as well, which is like at the start of the battle, increases health related stats by 30%. Stats not only like health but also like lifesteal, recovery, regeneration rate as well. So all this stuff, man, is broken. It also gives him a taunt for 2 turns, which is fantastic. So for the boy Twigo, like, this is a great buff. And there's also stuff like Alione, which is reduces damage received from enemies by 40%. Now, how do you get these buffs, man? You know, these are like, wow, these would be great changes to some of these characters. You know, add a little bit of spice, maybe broaden these out to the commandments as well. But how do you buff up these characters? Well, you got to do a raid, which I've heard, unless you're a Giga Whale, which I am in all fairness, is just pretty much impossible. And the reward set doesn't really seem like that good, that unless you're like grinding it over a very long period of time, you're going to be able to get upgrades for more than a couple of characters. So Netmarble, you know, introduced a fantastic solution of, how about, you know, we don't buff these characters, but you can buy the bundle. It's a $99 bundle, and you can pay for the buffs. You can buy all the bundles, man, and just, you know, keep on shelling out the cash, and you can buff your characters to a level of potential relevance there, at least until, you know, the next month where they release another character which has even higher numbers, where every character that you pay to get buffed just can't release, just because they wanted to put more numbers on and not go for any sort of interesting or balanced game design there. So basically, Netmarble are scumbags, and we already know this, but it's just like, dude, they released this system, what was it, I think like 5 days ago, and they're like already selling the bundles for it, man. So yeah, when this drops on global, it's probably these are probably gonna be like immediately available, so people can buy this stuff. And again, if you're a free-to-play player, it's either like you gotta grind out the raid a lot, or you're just gonna get absolutely fucked by Giga Whales that scoop these up, get the Massive additional health on Purgatory Barn, getting that tank in Twiggo as well, and a just big chill in there. But yeah, so Netmarble decided, you know, with their failing profits, declining player base, instead of, you know, buffing characters, looking at reviving the PvP scene, what can we do to bring back interesting PvP? We had such a good foundation at one point. They just decided to, instead of buffing characters and making them relevant, selling you buffs to characters that are mostly already in the meta, so that you need to spend more money to keep up with it. So yeah, basically, I feel at this point where, like, personally, I haven't made like an official quitting video. But, like, fuck this game. Like, fuck this game. Fuck the developers, man. I'm just seeing, like, the shittiest decisions. Like, I'd love if they were going to turn around and just steer the ship in the opposite direction and look at, you know, kind of making, like, this balanced PvP system, alternate modes of PvP, interesting gameplay. But every single update, man, it's just, like, the most lazy attempts to extract as much cash as they can out of this dying carcass of a game is just how I feel about 7 Deadly Sins currently. And if you're enjoying the game, more power to you. Don't let my saltiness and, you know, Netmarble's greed interfere with you having a great time if you are. But, ladies and gentlemen, like, fuck Netmarble, man. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Take care, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day.